Hey y'all, welcome back. I know you missed that sound.
I know. I was like, I'm so excited to do it today. Oh yeah. How'd you guys like the guys coming up here?
I know.
It was fun. It was fun, but it was like
they were a lot.
Really? I mean, Anuti was animated, but Bri, I was like, I need more.
I was really shocked.
Next
honestly.
time, lights, camera, action, we're gonna have to prep him.
Yeah, I know.
He wasn't ready for that.
Get him a microphone. I was just like, when I listened back, I'm like, yo, he won't stop complaining about the damn microphone.
I know. I was like, girl. I know.
I can't. But they were funny. It was fun. Did you look at the numbers for that? I didn't look yet.
I didn't
I'm
look.
excited
You know what?
to
I
see
haven't
that.
really been looking at numbers, and it was funny because you were like, the cheer episode did really, really well.
It did.
And I didn't look at the numbers until the other day when you said that. And I was like, oh, I haven't checked in a while.
Yeah.
You know why? Because it's so like, sometimes coming and doing the podcast or even creating content for Instagram, it could be so like, it's not instant gratification.
Yeah.
Even though it seems like it is because you're getting like likes or whatever the case is. But
when you look at the bigger picture, it's like,
right. Because it's
I
like
feel that.
Not thinking that we're going to be like an overnight success or anything, but
we want to make us go viral. No.
But yeah, like I just want to reach more people quicker.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know.
No, I agree. And honestly, like after that one time when we like analyzed every little thing and it was like a little bit like, we were just like, ugh. And then me too. But then when I got my new laptop, I was like, oh, let's look. Blah, blah, blah. No, so then I noticed and I was like, oh, like that's actually really good, you know?
Yeah. And you know what too? It's like, I forget what I was gonna say. Today's like a spacey day. I've been spacing out all day. I mean, what's new? I forget.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, I love us.
I love us too. Today I went onto the website because that's also something we haven't worked on. And like whatever. So I'm like looking at it and I'm like, we are doing everything ourselves and not to like give us credit or anything, but it's like so much to tackle when you don't know anything. Yeah. So it's like, we're learning a lot, but it's like, sometimes it could get overwhelming. Yeah. And you're like, am I using the right keywords? Are people going to be able to find us? And that's always my biggest thing. I'm like, I feel like people can't find us. Yeah. You know? And then, but like, we don't have the means right now to hire an expert and we don't have those things. So, you know, like, it's fine. We're working with what we have and we're going to be great regardless. Yeah. But it's just being like having those honest conversations like, this reel probably didn't pop because you're overthinking it. Or like, this didn't go off the way you thought it was because you're probably overthinking it. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. I know. That's annoying.
Strategy is not always like the main thing.
I also feel like too, like as much as influencers say like, oh, the algorithm of this and that, and it's just like, no.
Yeah, I know.
And maybe, but like, no.
I know. You know me. I'm like, it's like I almost have to understand something to be able to deliver. Yeah. And like that's always me with like Instagram, TikTok. I'm like, well, I need to understand the algorithm. And then like recently, I'm starting to let go of that, and I'm like, just be a human. Right. You know. That's it. I know. What are you gonna do? I don't even know what that was.
Yeah, because I didn't move. It wasn't me this time.
Liar. I don't know. I know.
Whatever.
Yeah, anyway.
But yeah.
So this week we came on to talk about just respecting one another almost. Yeah. That's like, and that might sound so like, oh my God, Mariah, why do you think we need to have a conversation about that? But, you know, I'm using this from like my own experience this week. Yeah. So obviously Super Bowl just passed and the halftime performance was like iconic for me.
It was amazing.
Yeah, like for us. Yeah. And I was like just so obsessed. Like that was so fun to watch. Yeah. It was just something nostalgic for us because that's just something that we're into. Right. So going into work the next day, I feel like I kept hearing or people, it just seems like a theme that just seeing more people write, oh, that was trash, that was this, that was that.
On social media too. There was like Facebook.
Yeah, always Facebook.
Where the older heads are at.
Right. And, you know, I was just like, ew. Like, I was getting annoyed with the people and I was like projecting on them like, oh, it's because you're this or it's because you're that or whatever. Like, you're not cultured and whatever. And like, I was having my own internal like conflicts, right? Mm-hmm. So then I'm like, well, why is that? Like, why do I feel so mad that they didn't like the halftime show? Because that was really bothering me. Yeah. And I just was like, you know what? Their model of the world probably didn't have Snoop Dogg rapping or listening to Tupac or whatever. Mm-hmm. So like their model of the world, like they didn't grow up doing those things. And maybe hip hop isn't part, like, I feel like it's so ingrained in our culture because we grew up in an urban society. Like, you know, we grew up in a diverse society. So it's like, just where we are, like, we're right next to New York. Yeah. So, like, this is, like, all things that I was, like, starting to piece together. Like, okay, it's not, like, who cares if they don't like it? Like, whatever, you enjoyed it, just take it for what it was.
Right.
So then that just brought me to, like, just understanding that. And I know, like, everybody has their own model of the world.
Yeah.
But just actively respecting that. Yeah. Right? And not, like...
And I think that's hard sometimes, right? Yeah. Because it's, like, you have, like, this lens of, like, what... you know, like, what it is, and it was just, like, you know, for example, for the Super Bowl, it's like, wow, like, so you're telling me, like, nobody was, like, singing and, like, dancing along and, like, you know, getting hyped up about it, like, they were just, like, sitting there mad, like, you know, it makes you think, like, you know, like, why? But I think that, like you just said, it's, I think that sometimes we need to take a step back and realize, like, we don't always need to, like, we're not always going to know some, like, what am I trying to say?
Like, you're not always going to relate to people.
Right.
Like, everybody's different for their own reasons and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I agree with that. 100%. Yeah. I don't know if that's what you were trying to say.
I was trying to, like, but, like, I don't know. But, yeah.
No, yeah.
So, I think that it's hard.
Yeah, it definitely is hard, and I feel like that wasn't the only, like, incident. Obviously, that was, like, a small incident. But just, like, showing people grace, like, instead of me getting annoyed with them and just being, like, almost offended, even though the Super Bowl, literally, the halftime show had nothing to do with me. Yeah. You know, like, I just felt like it was disrespectful almost, because that is my model of the world. So then that also ties into, just because something isn't art to you doesn't mean it's not art, right?
Right.
Or just because somebody isn't, just because you don't see the magic in somebody doesn't mean it's not there. Yeah. Right? So, like, showing people grace too, not just in, like, with music, obviously, but, like, in just every day, like, people grow, there are special things about everybody, and just because we can't see it, or we've had a bad taste in our mouth with it, or whatever the case is, it's like, doesn't mean it's not there.
And everybody has room for change. Everyone has room for growth, you know, like, but I think that, like, Mariah, like, when you say that, like, I think it's hard, like, for people, right? Like, when you have, like, a vision of someone years ago, and then it's like, okay, now it's like, how do you erase that, right? Like, how do you erase this person that you used to be? And it's like, it's kind of hard, because it's like, granted, everybody has room for growth, has room for change, like I just said. So this person could be a totally different person than they were in the past. Yeah. But I think that it's hard to be able to accept those changes when that was something that you were so used to back then, you know, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, but I agree with that 100%, but I also feel like people are who you expect them to be, right? So if you're holding these people to these expectations that they're this bad person, or they're this, they're that, whatever the case is, they're going to be that in your eyes, because you're always going to envision them that way.
That's true.
Where it's like, if you don't change your filters or your mindset or whatever to understand that they're not that, or just understand that maybe, like, if it's an acquaintance, we don't know that much about them, and maybe, like, you know, I guess it's different for if you knew somebody in the past, but we don't know them now. Like, so many years have changed that it's like, it's okay to show people grace. It's okay to not have an opinion about somebody. It's okay to not project, like, who you think they are. I feel like so many people want to put other people in a box, right? Like, this is what I know you to be, and this is where I'm framing you, and this is where you belong. And it's like, you lose so much connection with people by just doing that. Right? Like, you lose the chance to get to know somebody that can offer you something in life. And I mean, in a good way, in an educational energy exchange.
Who's to say that person in the past that you know, you can't forget their, you know, their past experiences, or your past experience with them, who's to say that they can't be a different, like, added to that chapter in your life now, and be able to open up, you know, new and different opportunities. So I see that.
Yeah. I feel like it was just important to come on and say that today, because like I said, they're just it's so easy. And I know this is a theme in, like, one of our recent episodes, but it's so easy to be a critic, right? You know, it's so easy to do that, because, like, we're always looking for something to perfect or to define with the human eye, right? So it's like, it's so easy to be a critic in a world full of critics.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
when it's like, just step back for a second and just accept people for who they are in front of you.
Yeah.
And what they're meant for in that role. Yeah,
and that's so nice that you said that, because I actually just had a conversation with someone, and they were just saying like, I was talking to them, and they're going through some issues, and I said, I'm like, not for nothing, in society now, right? Like, there's so many expectations of things, of like how you're supposed to be, what you should say, what you can't say, and this and that. And it's so hard to be human, right? And be you, and be okay with what you're feeling, right? And like, be able to say like, hey, no, I don't agree with that, or hey, yeah, I do agree with that, and like, not feel like because you say those things you're going to be judged, or people are gonna talk about you, or do this or do that. And that's hard, like, especially for the teens growing up now. There's so many different opinions. So, and I think that especially in the world today, and like, this is like, I'm saying this with like needing to take my own advice too, is just to be kinder, right? Like, and be kind, because we really don't know what the person sitting next to us is like, what's running through their mind, like throughout the day, or like, what did they just go to before they entered the room or got to work, like, what we don't know. And I think that any little thing can, I'm probably just going off topic, but any little thing can trigger, someone, or bring out something that makes them emotional, or, so I think that, just like you said, like, just tying that back to like being respectful, being kind, and just knowing that like that person who's freaking bagging your groceries or holding the door for you, like, what a thank you or a smile could do for them.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, I think that's important.
Just carrying, like I said, so many people just go into situations or talk to people and already have, like, in my head, I know I'm so guilty of this. Yeah. And sometimes I have to actively tell myself, like, stop doing that. Right. And just be present in the conversation, because you're just looking at somebody and you're like, oh, I wonder. All these judgments, right? And not even judgments, but for me, it's like just thinking about, oh, I wonder what this, and I wonder where they were from this, and blah, blah, blah. Like, just analyzing almost every single word that they're saying coming out of their mouth, because that's just what I'm used to doing. Right. And like, I think just coming to be more like, just being enjoying the person, enjoying the person, right? Like, just being there, being respectful, just all of those things. But I like what you brought up, because it does tie into the new full moon that is today. I'm still learning astrology and everything. Not learning it, but like, I'm not a pro at this or anything. But the full moon is in Leo, and Leo rules like your heart, and it's like reflects like your inner child, all those things. And with the sun being in like Aquarius, like a whole thing that's going on in the sky right now, guys. So but with Leo, it's really figuring out like what your heart wants, what your passion is, and then releasing things that don't serve you anymore, right? So like, if there is something that you're leaning into as far as like what you want to do, because you were saying for like the younger teens and stuff that are like figuring things out with like shattering societal like expectations, this is like the time to do it. Like, this is the phase that we're stepping into now. Like, release things that don't serve you, and Leo is the lion. Like, be courageous, be the lion. Like, choose what you want and follow what you want, what your heart says you want, what your passion is, and just do the damn thing. Like, life is so short. Yeah, you get one of these and that's it. So do the things, and don't feel regretful. Like, don't feel,
Yeah, I love that. Be the lion.
Be the lion. It was actually this morning. The moon peaks this morning, but it's fine. You would still do it. Don't, just do your rituals. Tell yourself some positive affirmations.
I called the full moon today.
Did you?
Yeah. Work was crazy. And I was like, it's a full moon today, I bet you. And I looked it up and I was like, wow. Go me.
I love it. Yeah.
I love that. Oh, that was cute.
Yeah, this is a good, I feel like we just needed to
let it out.
Nice little pick me up.
Yeah.
Pick us up. Well, there's two of us. Exactly. I'm always like, how do I refer to this? Pick us up.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Moral of the story, be kind and be a lion.
And be a lion. All right, guys. This was fun.
We appreciate you guys always, and thank you for sticking around this far. I think this is our 20th episode, right?
Oh my God, yeah.
So that's exciting.
Cool.
Yeah.
I can cry. No, that's cool.
So yeah, thank you guys for sticking around this long. Thank you for the people who motivate us every time we drop an episode to just keep going and do more. We really appreciate that. Yeah. I think we're definitely stepping out of our comfort zone a little bit and expanding our horizons to bring out more for you guys. So that's definitely exciting. And
and never stop like telling us what you want to hear. Like sometimes we'll put up questions on the stories and stuff because we really do want to hear your feedback. Like I think we do a good job of trying to figure out what guests would fit for our community, and we've reached out to a number of them. But we want to know what you guys need to hear in the moment, what you guys want to hear, because but be kind, show yourself grace, show other people grace.
We love y'all, man.
We'll see you guys on Tuesday.
Bye.